This video is brought to you today by Ghostags. This is my own company that I started because I wanted a glow-in-the-dark AirTag case. These things are awesome. You can stick them on your backpack, on your dog's collar, and you will be able to find it at night. We've got two colors, blue and green. They've got great reviews. Go check them out. Links to them down below. Now on to the video. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Slim and you're watching Slimothy TV. In this video, I have a very important one for you guys, so you're gonna wanna make sure you stick around to the end of this video. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, but basically I'm gonna go over my battery health. I'm gonna talk about why it's so weird of what's happened. We're gonna talk about the other YouTubers that have also posted their battery health and why mine is similar, and why your battery health on your iPhone 14 Pro or whatever iPhone 14 it is might not be the best. We're also gonna go over numbers because I noted down when my battery health dropped and I noted the date. On top of this, I'm gonna tell you about a program you can use to track your battery health. And lastly, I'm gonna tell you guys how you can try to prevent this from happening to your phone. So let's set the stage for a minute. Obviously, I'm a tech YouTuber. I make videos telling you guys how to preserve your battery health. So does Brandon Butch and ZolloTech, all those other YouTubers. We all make very similar videos on how to preserve battery health, and it's pretty well known across the board. However, this year, all of our phones seem to have dropped to about 90% battery health. If I open up my settings right now, you guys can see my maximum capacity is 89%. This iPhone was pre-ordered on launch day and delivered to me the first day that anyone got the iPhone 14 Pro. This is the 14 Pro, not the Pro Max, so this does not have the bigger battery. But I'm gonna try to explain why this happened, why everyone's battery health is so bad this year. So first off, let me go into detail about when the battery actually dropped, because I noted down in notes the dates that my battery dropped. So around February 28th, 2023 this year, my battery health first dropped below 100%. It dropped to 99. Then on April 6th, it dropped to 97, 93% on June 4th, and 89% on July 26th. Now between April 6th and June, I was on a vacation in the Bahamas for a couple weeks, and my phone was on the beach and got hot just like I always mentioned not to do. Although I did keep mine out of direct sunlight as much as possible, just like I always recommend to you guys. But that doesn't explain why it dropped so much. Like, what's going on? Maybe my cycles are crazy. Well, here's the funny thing. I actually watched ZolloTech's video, and I'm gonna put a screenshot up on the screen right now from his video. This was his iPhone 14 Pro Max, and you can see he has like 200 something cycles, but his battery percentage is like, what, 91, 92% on there. My phone, look at how many cycles I have. I have 371 cycles. I have way more cycles than he does, and my battery percent is only 2 or 3 points below his. Now, on top of that, he has the Pro Max. I just have the Pro. So his battery is over 1,100 milliamp hours bigger than mine, and his still dropped more than mine. So that is absolutely insane. I know he mentions he uses wireless charging more. I prefer wired. I think it's a little bit better, but that's just an interesting data point that another YouTuber has worse battery health than me. And that's saying something because I use my phone daily for work, almost all day. And at night, I am on a phone call every night, all night. And this is a huge stress test of the battery to see how it reacts. So like I said, I've got 371 cycles on here. That's more than one per day. However, according to Coconut Battery, my original battery health was 102.6%. So it was more than 100%, which most people's are. Now, let me explain why this happened, because you might have an iPhone 14 right now, and you're probably like, what the heck, my battery is dropping too, and I don't understand why. So the first reason I can think of is maybe Apple has worse battery technology this year. Maybe the batteries in the iPhone 14 series just aren't holding up as well. Now, alternatively, it could also be that Apple has tweaked the way that they do their percentages. Maybe the algorithm is more accurate now. If you guys ever do a software update from iOS 17 to iOS 17.1 and you notice your battery health go down, it's not because of the update. The update did not magically sap your battery percentage. It's simply recalibrating your battery percentage at the update as soon as it reboots. So the number you see after you update is more accurate. Another thing people think could be causing this is the always on display, which I always have on. So you can see right here, home and lock screen took up 7% of my battery for the last 24 hours. In the last 10 days, it's the number 2 user. Home and lock screen, 11 hours and 41 minutes. That's crazy. So maybe the always on display is part of the problem. Hard to say for sure. Next, I put betas on my phone. This phone has had iOS 17 betas, all of them, the developer betas. Maybe that's, hurting the battery a little bit. I think that's what ZolloTech mentioned, but to be honest, I don't think that's the biggest culprit here. I really don't. Because how many extra cycles do you think that would put on your phone? Maybe, I don't know, an extra 10, 20? That's not very much. Now, it could also be from my trips. I drove 16 hours with this phone as my main navigator as I was, driving last October, right when this was a brand new phone. Now, it didn't seem to hurt the battery too much. according to Coconut Battery. This phone, and I actually had 3 phones total because I needed a lot of cop protection and navigation aids. But anyways, this phone was sitting on my dash most of the time charging. It was getting hot. Stuff I tell you guys not to do, but I had to do it. And this guy was awesome. But again, you shouldn't do that. I also mentioned the other trip I took earlier this year to Bahamas. It was hot. That could have done something to the battery as well. Maybe heat, maybe too much usage. This year, across the board, iPhone 14s, their batteries are much worse than usual. And this is something that is concerning people. I'm getting so many comments on my video asking, hey, is this normal? My battery dropped this percent, blah, blah, blah. And in this video, I'm gonna explain. Don't worry about your battery percentage. Seriously, don't worry about it. It is all an estimate by the software. I mean, it's not perfect. Maybe my battery is actually 92%. Maybe it's 88%. Who knows? And honestly, who cares? As long as you have peak performance capability, you're good. If it drops below that, go replace the battery or get a new phone. Now, I know a lot of you people that might trigger you. You might say, well, I want to keep my phone forever. I don't want to pay $100 for a new battery. Okay, cool. Let's talk about how you can preserve it, because I've got tons of videos going over this. In the past, this has always worked, but this year seems to be a little different. It's about 4% lower than my phone was last year at this time, which could just be a fluke, but here's what you can do. Cycling a battery is obviously going to deteriorate it. A battery cannot last forever. Due to the chemistry of a lithium-ion battery, you can't keep it forever. You just can't. It breaks down with time. Every time you charge from, 0 to 100, that's 1 cycle. If you go from 50 to 100, that's half a cycle. So if you go from 50 to 100, and then later you drop down to 75 to 100, that's 3/4 of a cycle. That's 75%. You're not even at 1 cycle yet. The lower you keep your cycles, the better. Like I said though, I'm at 370 whatever cycles. I don't really care, and my battery is not that bad. In fact, I would go so far as to say, I don't even notice that I'm at 89%. The iPhone 14 Pro's battery is so good, this has never been even a problem. It hasn't crossed my mind that it's so low. I would have guessed it was maybe at 98%, 99%. Like, I don't notice any issues. It doesn't affect me or my life. So the next thing, besides the battery cycles, what else can you do to limit the degradation of your battery? Keep your phone out of heat. That means keep it off the dashboard, even though I've been testing that out recently. Maybe that has something to do with this. I actually have a little MagSafe charger on my dash that I've been testing out to see what happens. Maybe that's part of the problem because I'm charging it and it's in the sun. However, I've had my AC on, and when I pull my phone off, it's actually really cool to the touch. I'm still thinking about that, trying to figure that out. But in reality, you don't want your phone to get hot. So keep it out of the sun, keep it out of the heat. That is a huge component, battery cycles and heat. Speaking of heat, unfortunately, a lot of cases these days trap heat against the back of your phone. I don't use a case, as you guys well know. I have a screen protector on, but I usually don't even have that. This phone is naked almost all the time. I don't use a case. I review them on the channel, but day-to-day life, I don't use it. Keeps the phone cooler if you don't use a case. So you're thinking, what the heck? I can't use a case now? No, that's not true. You can still use a case, but just be mindful. If you're fast charging your phone's gonna heat up. When your phone heats up, that's bad for the battery. Use that information with what you will. I think most people, it's better to just have a case on if you're clumsy, if you drop your phone. It's a lot more expensive to replace the glass on this phone than it is to replace the battery. Battery's only $100. It's not that big of a deal. And the last thing is usage. There's a lot of apps these days that kill your battery, destroy it even. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, all of those are horrible for your battery. They kill it. You can go into your battery usage and look. You can see just how much they take up. This is kind of a news flash for you guys. I know a lot of you people that are watching this video probably spend hours a day on TikTok. I don't even put that on my phone because it's basically Chinese spyware, but that's a different tangent. It also kills your battery. Like it destroys it, just like Facebook. To go into some more granular tips, if you guys really want them, turn off notifications for any app that you don't have. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi as much as possible if you can, because cellular uses more data. Keep your hotspot off unless you need it. Turn your brightness down to just above the sun, so right about there. That's where I keep mine. Turn off auto brightness. And most of all, keep optimized battery charging turned on. You really should do this. This is the best thing that just works in the background and will help keep your battery as healthy as possible. So you got to keep that on. Turn off clean energy charging, though. That's stupid. Turn off background app refresh. So if you don't know how to do that, you just go into general and then go to background app refresh. Make sure that's turned off. You don't need it. It's stupid. Even if WhatsApp tells you need it, you don't. It's a lie. They most likely just want to track you in the background. And lastly, just a little pro tip, go into privacy, location services. Make sure that all of the apps are not using your location always. Either set them to never or while using, and then scroll down to system services and get your setup similar to mine. because this will help with your battery just a little bit. Make sure all these product improvements are turned off. You don't need that. Make sure tracking is turned off, and then scroll down to analytics improvements. Make sure that's turned off. Apple advertising, make sure that's turned off. And yeah, you should be good. So the ultimate way to keep your battery health at 100%, don't use your damn phone. Okay, that's it, because it's gonna degrade over time. It'll just degrade slower if you're not using the phone. If you're gonna store the phone for a long period of time, like more than 2 weeks, get it to about 50% charge and then power it off. You wanna keep it around 50%. It will slowly drop over time even when powered off, but when you store it, you want it around 50%. So maybe after 6 months, you have to plug it back in, get it back up to around 50, turn it off. That'll keep the battery healthier. When you're charging it daily, you wanna keep it between, the sweet spot's 40 to 80%. But if you have to go down to 20 or 30% to 80, that's fine. If you need a full charge every night, make sure optimized battery charging is on. You can let it hit 100% overnight. That's fine. I mean, you got to use your phone. Just try not to let it go below 20 or 10% battery very often. If you need to calibrate your battery, you can do that once a month by going up to 100%, dropping it down to 0 and back up to 100. Now you don't have to hit 0 exactly, maybe 1 or 2. And then on that last charge up, when you hit 100, let it sit there for at least 30 minutes and that's calibrated. I'm not sure how good the science is on that, but that is something you can do. This video is like the ultimate battery video. I go over my battery health. I tell you what I think is happening. I tell you the best tips. Definitely share this video with friends and family, whoever you think might need this. And if you're gonna write a comment right now that says, hey, I've had my phone for 2 months, it's brand new, and it dropped 2%, should I return the phone? No, you shouldn't return the phone. Apple, I don't think will typically do anything about battery unless you drop more than 10% in like 6 months or something. Maybe it's 3 months. It's got to be something crazy, because then you might have a defective battery. I personally don't think I've met a single person ever who had a defective iPhone battery. So everyone that has commented on my video and said, hey, is this normal? I've always said, yeah, that's normal, or hey, contact Apple about it. I'm not tech support. Hopefully this video cleared it up. If you leave a comment like that, I'll tell you to just watch this whole video all the way through. You shouldn't worry about your battery health. It's been less than a year and mine's already dropped 11%, and I use my phone normally. My phone battery is not defective. It's just the way it is. Higher power phone uses more battery, more cycles, kills the battery quicker. It is what it is. 89% doesn't matter. Like I said, the phone doesn't care. Like it works just like normal. Like as if it was 100%. I don't even notice that it's down to 89%. And if yours drops from, 99 to 97, you're not going to notice that. Like, let's be honest. You're just being weird about looking at these numbers and wanting it to be perfect. It's a battery. It's never going to be perfect. And lastly, if anyone says anything stupid about batteries, tell them to head over to Battery University. It's a free website. You can learn all about these batteries if you want to nerd out. That's all I got for this video, guys. This is all of my battery information in one video. If you liked it, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.